In conference standings, you see the two teams sitting up top right there, separated by a half game. You get to see them for your viewing pleasures tonight on TNT. Woo! Oh, yeah. Welcome in Leo Rotten's a legend in his own mind who will be calling the game tonight.
A legend in his own mind? You're right.
But, of course, a legend in real life and his own mind. Thank you for joining us. But before the season started, the Bucks weren't necessarily in the conversation as a sexy pick. We were talking about Boston, the Sixers, and, of course, your Raptors. Now, besides the obvious reasons, the Greek Freak, Coach Bud, what have you seen that has catapulted this team to the top of the Eastern Conference?
Well, I can't not answer that without saying Mike Budenholzer. I mean, as soon as I heard his name getting hired with this organization, I said that's going to make a difference. And you could see it, the way they play, the way the ball moves defensively. It's the whole package. So he's really made a huge difference. The other thing is Middleton. You know, a lot of people don't talk about him, but he's a big-time player. Not only does he can shoot from anywhere on the floor, but he can create his shot off the dribble. And he's done some damage in previous games against the Raptors. So, you know, he's a big concern to me. And I like the fact that, you know, Bledsoe kind of came to Milwaukee with a lot of baggage. And when you look back to the playoffs last year, he really used that to fuel himself this year, and it's shown. I mean, he's responded this season the way you hope a player would, and he's been a difference maker as well.
I like the word respond, Leo, because with this team, talking about your Raptors now, they're thinking big picture. How has Kawhi Leonard missing games and your bench being so deep helped you for the big picture for the playoffs?
Well, you know, when you look at it, it's amazing the Raptors are where they are with the number of injuries and Kawhi getting the load management days. And I think it is a testament to the depth. And what that's going to enable this team to do is for Nick Nurse, he can find out who can do what in what situation, when they can step up, maybe which guy and which matchups are going to work the best. So he can play with a lot of different guys right now. And a lot of guys have that confidence going into the second half of the year that when this team is healthy, a lot of different players can step up and play in different positions. So, you know, quite honestly, I think it's been good for this team. Not the injury aspect, but just the fact that a whole bunch of guys have been playing and getting great opportunities to build up their confidence. And because of injuries, some of the guys needed those extra minutes to kind of get back into it after a slow start at the beginning of the season.
Well, Leo, I'm just wanting you to know you're losing that Syracuse, New York accent, and you sound very Canadian right now. Just letting you know, brother.
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
But, you know, the one thing I want to ask is, without naming a play, you know, we see all the moves that, you know, Ozzy, KP getting traded today and all that. Do the Raptors have everything they need? Do they need to add anything? Not a player, but do they need to add an ingredient to be a championship team, or this is the championship mix?
Well, this is a pretty good group when everybody's on the floor and they're healthy. Now, the one thing I would like to see, this is my personal opinion, I'd like to see another shooter. You know, every time, you know, watching players kind of, you know, Ariza going to Washington, Korver going to Utah, I'm looking at those guys going, ooh, they could help. And just having another guy to be a knockdown shooter on the floor. Danny Green's been amazing. You know, C.J. Miles has kind of been up and down, coming into his own as of late. Fred VanVleet's been banged up early in the season. He's still kind of getting out of that, but, you know, when he's going, his jump shot's there. But just having that one other guy alongside Danny Green that you know that ball gets to him, it's going in, I think would help a lot.
Well, we all know when the ball went to you, it was definitely going in. Enjoy the game tonight. We're looking forward to hearing you call.
It was going somewhere.
Legend in his own mind. Legend in his own mind.
Yo, my man, thanks for joining us on Game Time. We'll see you soon.
I appreciate it, guys.
Man, he was a bad boy.
What?
Hey, no doubt about it.
What?
There's a bad boy right there, too, playing where the bad boys used to play indeed, Dallas.
Look at
Detroit.
old man Dirk, run. Get loose, Dirk. Get loose.
No Luka in the game, though, tonight. He's going to sit this one out.
Why?
I don't know, but we'll talk to you about it next on Game Time.
Rest.
There is Blake Griffin getting shots up. Will he be named a reserve for All-Star Weekend? We're going to find that out shortly. In fact, around 7 o'clock, you can turn into TNT where you'll find that out for sure.
It's cold, boss.
It's so
That
cold.
means it's cold.
Top two teams in the East, one known for his offensive firepower, leading the NBA in scoring, while the other is known for defense.
No, Giannis said, nah, I'm so
Giannis
chilly
bringing
right
the heat.
now.
Giannis bringing the heat.
Yeah, I see you, Snell, with the Scully.
Oh, yeah, they both bringing the heat tonight. Both
I'll trade for you, Todd. I'll trade for you.
And
What's Jordan Bell doing?
hey, y'all remember the celebration of the championship?
Yeah.
Still legendary.
Oh,
He's
that's
still
what
out in
that
these
is.
streets, though. Fast forward to present day, that is Mr. Bell, Golden State. out there on the runway to Rep to check.
Hey, at least I know it's not cold there because he got them short shorts on.
Hey, hit them folks one time.
You guys are going to ask about the trade. I can't really talk about it until the trade call is done. According to what I've heard, that could be sometime around 6 o'clock Eastern time. Could be a few minutes earlier. Could be afterwards. Other than that, really can't comment on it.
A blockbuster 6-player trade that you might not have been expecting. Chris Porzingis in a 7-player deal going to the Dallas Mavericks. Got Kenny Jet Smith here, Mr. Players Only, Dennis 3D Scott. We're going to chop it up about all of this, get to the bottom, see who won the deal. This trade right here that broke this afternoon. Of course, you're now rocking with the best officially. Ro Parrish here along with the aforementioned esteemed colleagues of mine, Kenny Jet Smith, Dennis 3D Scott, Players Only.
Real quick, Ro, can you explain to our fans and viewers, though, why Porzingis didn't get traded versus Anthony Davis and his representation getting traded? Because, Kenny, when that happened, I was like, wait a minute, why does Anthony Davis get traded? I don't remember Carmelo getting fined. I don't remember Kyrie getting fined when he asked to be traded. So explain to people so they understand why the difference on this trade, why no one's in this uproar for Porzingis.
So basically breaking down like 3D asked me to do, when you go to your agent and put out an official press release releasing it to the media, that's why the NBA chose to fine Anthony Davis $50K earlier on Monday for requesting a trade publicly.
He had to do that, though.
Why did he have to do it?
Because Anthony Davis is in a different position. He's in a position of trying to let everyone know that he's given the Hornets an opportunity to make a trade and get the Pelicans rather, to make a trade, and New Orleans to make a trade and get assets back. If he did not do that, he could have looked selfish and said, oh, I'm just waiting, and then I don't go to the team I possibly want to play with, and then go somewhere else. So now it gives the true teams that he would actually sign with the opportunity to do it, and it makes everyone a little bit better, and he'll take the $50,000 fine for that.
We talk about making everybody better. Let's talk about this deal right here that's on the table and see who it makes better or break it down. A 7-2
This was
deal.
crazy, man.
You see the Knicks, they received Jordan, Matthews, Dennis Smith Jr., and 2 first-round draft picks. Meanwhile, the Mavericks get Trey Burke, Courtney Lee, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Mr. Unicorn. So looking at this deal right now.
I didn't realize Courtney Lee was involved too.
Yeah. Well, hey.
That's serviceable, yeah,
Trey
serviceable. Trey Burks played better, kind of rejuvenated, so to speak.
Resurrected his career with the Knicks.
We know what Tim Hardaway Jr. does, Kenny. He knocks down shots. And now the question is, how healthy is Porzingis? Will he play this year now, Kenny? Was he setting out? Was New York Knicks holding him out? So that type of stuff for me needs to come out now, Kenny, and say, yes, the physical, we're going to go through all that process, see where his leg is and so forth. But right now, Kenny, Dallas looks pretty good in this deal.
Pretty good. I mean, like you would say, forget the guys there, Luka Doncic.
Yes. Yes.
You have possibly the youngest up-and-coming superstar, not star. The difference between an all-star and superstar. Luka has a chance to be a superstar. And you're adding Porzingis, who has a chance to be not an all-star, but a superstar. So you're putting in the West the dimension of what everyone else around the West has.
Yeah.
So you look at Golden State, you look at the Lakers, what they're trying to do, and everyone else is trying to blend. They're saying, okay, Golden State, when you have that fall off, and one of those guys leave, now we're right there, because you can't really put a team together to compete with Golden State every night.
Right.
But you have to be the one ready when Golden State leaves. When Boogie leaves next year, maybe one of those free agents leave, and all of a sudden we're in the mix. You cannot compete with the current team. So they understand that, I think, and then put in Tim Hardaway as the 3rd or 4th best player on your team.
Another shot maker for
But with the Knicks, he's your best player right now. and now he's their fourth best player possibly at times. That, to me, I would say right away. And the Knicks would just say, hey, we're going for free agency.
I'm glad that you brought up that point, because that is how we do in TV. We segue, looking at free agency, the potential free agents.
That's a big gamble.
Available. Now,
huge gamble.
If the two players away, talking about Wesley Matthews and DeAndre Jordan, that could potentially create $74 million in cap space available for the Knicks to potentially bring in one of these.
Kemba's going home. Kemba's going home, Kenny.
Think so?
Well,
I'm just saying,
but no, you think about this. Can you leave that picture up for 1 second? Can we put that picture back for 1 second? Because
I don't think KD and Clay are never going. I don't think they're going to stiff the mark.
But think about this. Okay, let's say KD and Clay and Kawhi Leonard stay where they are, and your two free agents are Kemba Walker and Jimmy Butler. You're not better than with KP, with Porzingis.
Exactly.
So you have to. This is a huge gamble, hoping that a Kevin Durant, a Leonard, a Kyrie Irving and a Klay Thompson, someone else is coming to your team. That's a huge gamble. That's a gamble I don't know if I could have taken at this point. It's just a huge gamble. I'll just leave it as that.
Well, I mean, looking back at the Knicks over the years, they've gambled a lot this summer of 2010.
And they've been coming up short every year.
So they signed Amari Stoudemire in 2010.
They got an old Amari. They got a banged up Amari.
Yeah, they did.
The Knicks have been doing really, Steve Mills and Scott have been doing some really good things. This is a huge gamble that, you're swinging for the fences. And you have to understand what the climate is of the free agencies, what free agent players are. You have to have your ear to the street. You have to have your ear to the gym. And you have to have your ear to the families. So you have to know a lot to make a move like this, knowing that there is a real strong possibility of what guys are feeling internally.
Right.
Because this is an internal feeling. Because, you look at Paul George last year.
Yep.
This guy turned down the Los Angeles Lakers, the storied franchise in the city that is just offers everything that he has, a hometown product, and he stays in Oklahoma. So to make a gamble like this, to me, that the Paul George of last year would make me hesitate on gambling and say, no, I'm going to trade for someone.
Right.
To get them in and convince them to stay before I try to get them in free agency.
Well, the trade that is yet to happen is the one where Anthony Davis exits the Pelicans.
He's out.
It hasn't taken place just yet, but Alvin Gentry, he's already over it.
To me, to be honest with you, it really pisses me off, if you want to know the truth, if you want me to speak in layman's terms. Because you should ask us if we feel like second-class citizens. And I can tell you right now, that is the farthest from the truth there is. There is nothing that we ask for or we want or anything that they won't give us and Mrs. B won't give us to try to help us win games. So whoever wrote that, you're actually full of shit, if you want to know the truth.
Earmuffs, kiddies. So when you hear him say it's like we're a second-class franchise organization, what is that? How do you react to hearing
7 years, man? I think it was 7 years he's been in. 7 years is is that mark for most great players, and they say either I'm going to be here for the rest of my career, or I'm going to move. It has nothing to do with. I don't even think the New Orleans Pelicans being a second-class organization has nothing to do with that. Mm-hmm. They treated him with the utmost respect. They brought in Boogie Cousins last year. They brought in Nurkic. They brought in Rondo. They signed Holiday. They have made some moves that would be, could possibly put him in position, but it just hasn't. So he's saying this is the 7-year mark, and that is the indicator. I don't even know off the top of my head when Chris Webber was a free agent, when Akeem Olajuwon, like all of these guys from the past, and now you bring LeBron James in his 7th year. What did he like? That's the year when guys say, "I'm going to stay here forever," or "I'm going to leave."
And that last point, I think this past year by not bringing back Rondo, we know Boogie's injury kind of made everyone hesitant. I think if you'd have done a few more things, to Kenny's point. And after talking to Rich Paul at the game the other night, that was a deciding factor. In year 7, you're not making the moves that makes us feel comfortable that we want to stay here for our whole career. That's why Rich Paul did what he did.
Well, it makes sense so far in those 7 seasons. The Pelicans have only made it to the postseason twice.
I don't even think it's the moves, though, and D. I don't
Okay.
think it's the moves that they make. 'Cause I think those moves that they made, they were going for it, in a sense. It just didn't work out. Now, it's like, you tried, but it just, that wasn't the girl I wanted to take to the prom. Or I even could get to I couldn't even get a prom invitation.
Couldn't get the invitation.
Because I didn't get to the playoffs.
Couldn't get the dinner, huh? You couldn't
I
get
couldn't
to
even
the
get
dinner,
the dinner.
huh?
So now it didn't work out. It doesn't have anything to do that you didn't do all of the things. You bought the flowers, you bought the candy, you set up the limousine. It's just nobody, you opened the limousine and nobody was in it. No playoff was inside of that limousine.
Right.
3D, any more prom day commentary?
No, I think we hit on the head. I just wanted to make sure the casual fan understood.
No doubt.
We got so much, Twitter, how come all this guy get fined and that? I just want everyone to understand why the process was the way it was.
Well, that's what we're here for, to give you knowledge, everything. Trade deadline show is coming up. We're going to have it here for you. Make sure you keep it locked on NBA TV, February 6th.
When is that? Man, I might come in for that.
I mean, you might have to, Jack.
I might just fly in early for that.
I mean, you might as well.
Yeah.
Back-to-back Thursday
Yeah.
and Wednesday, we got you covered. Check the times are on your screen. But tonight, that's Giannis. The Bucks have gone 11-3 in January, tied for the best mark in the NBA. They visit the Raptors, who have the second best record at home in the East, 21-4. Who's gonna win tonight? It's on TNT. More
He'll never get traded.
Yo, this could be a finals preview, but in the meantime, there's a freight train coming the Sixers' way, a team that's won 11 straight. Boogie Cousins making his home debut at Oracle in the process. And Boogie, they've had their history. They seem to get along well on the court by being competitors, and looking at the numbers of the last 5 games, they've definitely been putting numbers up on the board. Can't wait to see that matchup. I'd love to see 2 bigs going at 2 traditional bigs. You really don't see that anymore because we know the 5 has kind of been swept up under the rug for the most part.
Well, that's why I want you to help use a different word than traditional. You know why? Because the traditional big men could not pop out to the wing and ISO. So that's why I've been trying to help people. Like, no, traditional big men would get cross screens or back screens to the post, bang, bang, baby hook, bang, bang, maybe kissed off the glass. These 2 jokers right here, they can pop out to the 3-point line, jab, jab, and shoot the 3 like a wingman. That's the difference. As much as I love that guy across the hall, Shaq can never do that. As much as we love the dream, maybe a little bit. David Robinson, maybe a little bit. But these 2, it's a totally different level, bro, because they can go right, they can go left, and now with the new NBA, they step back. No center could step back and shoot the 3. So that's why I've been trying to tell people, change the word traditional, because that is the true difference from the Patrick Ewings, the Lonzo Moyings of the world, because if those guys were trying to do this now, they'd be a fish out of water because they want to get down low and bang and be physical. So to your point, it's fun to see 2 guys that have the fundamental skills to do both.
That is true. So traditional big men, but they have expanded their horizons.
Yes.
Looking at Joel Embiid, well, that's just Boogie Cousins. Over the last 5 games, shooting 55% from downtown.
Talking to Boogie in Washington the other night for the players-only game, he's like, I'm still getting used to being wide open all the time. I'm still getting used to guys paying, or should I say, making that extra pass. And now I'm no longer the best player on the floor most nights. So now to buy into that and understanding that this team is willing to share every night,
yes,
that's why you see the flow and everything starting to come a little naturally. Last but not least, Ro, once he gets in better shape, the fouls will come down too, because right now he's using his hand instead of moving his body. All that's going to come better and better after the All-Star break.
Oh, and by the way, you want to make sure you pay attention tonight because that game is going to be on TNT, and there's a legend that made history once upon a time. His name was Jackie Robinson.
Ooh, look at them shorts, Jackie.
He was nice on the baseball diamond, but he was nice on the court. You got something special for you coming up. Oh, yes, he did. Yes, he did.
All right, guys, the Jazz been playing well here lately, so have the Portland Trail Blazers. Decided to have a little fun with this West Coast game tonight. We're going to play over-under. You know how over-under works. I'll give you a number. You tell me over-under. It's very simple. Play along at home if you like. Over-under 3.5 Rudy Gobert blocks tonight against the Blazers. Grant Hill.
I will say with my answer, Matt, under.
Survey says?
Under. I say under because I think the ball is going to be in McCollum and Lillard's hands a lot. They're very crafty. They're not going to get to the paint. Utah's a great defensive team. They like to funnel the ball, much like Smitty did with Dikembe back in the day. But they will do their damage from the perimeter and the mid-range and stay away from Rudy Gobert inside.
Okay.
Ditto.
Ditto.
Yeah, next.
Okay. I would say under as well, simply because his season average is under
Yes.
3.5.
And same what Grant said.
Yeah. Over-under 50 combined points for Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum.
I'm going over.
Okay.
The reason why is I love Donovan Mitchell, but I think it puts a lot of pressure on Ricky Rubio had to guard the other guard, and I think combined they will have more than 50.
Okay.
Ditto.
Also ditto.
I just think these two guys are so good. So much is relied on them. We can pencil them in for 50. It's who's going to be the third scoring option. That's the big question always with Portland.
Two average 47 combined points on the season. Yusuf Nurkic is still a game-time decision. Let's assume that he's playing and say over-under. Nurkic points and rebounds combined 25.
Under, because he's a game-time decision. He won't be healthy.
Well, no, I said let's assume he plays.
Oh, and as soon as he plays, he'll be a little banged up, so I'm going to go under. And also, I think it'll be a little bit tougher because of Rudy Gobert.
big fella, yeah.
Make him have to shoot a lot of more mid-range and outside jump shots.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm going under too.
Yeah, you're going under as well. All right. He averages 25.6 combined for the season so far. Donovan Mitchell, averaged 30 points a game over his last 10. Over, under 30 points tonight against the Blazers.
Well, you know what? He's going to get 30. He's been playing great. He's at a point now where he kind of got off to a slow start, it seemed, his sophomore season. But now he's found his rhythm. He's in a groove. And I don't think the perimeter of Portland can contain him. So 30, yeah, pencil him in.
Did
30
you say
plus.
over or under? You
I
can't
didn't say
take
anything.
you can't take 30 exactly.
30.
I said
You
30
said 30 a couple of times.
plus. Over.
So over.
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 Yes.
The
I'm
word I'm
sorry.
looking
I didn't
for.
clarify. I was thinking over, but I
Judges,
didn't articulate.
The judges say yes.
Kel said yes.
We're looking for the word
Kelsey
over.
said yes.
We're looking for over.
Yes.
I'm going over, and I think what Grant said is they started off slow, and he was playing subpar to what we saw his performances last year. He started with the ball in his hand. He started putting up big numbers. They started winning. So you got to stay with that formula, and I think he'll be a big number. He's playing against two big-time guards. He's going to want to come out and play extremely well. He'll have more than 30.
24 plus in 12 straight games. The last Utah Jazz player to do that was Karl Malone back in 1995.
Over and under, Joe Ingles, 4 more fast break points for you, man. I'm giving you one.
I'm always go under on that.
Gotcha.
I don't know what his actual number is. I'm just guessing.
Yes, you just guessing.
I'm guessing it's
Anything fast and Joe?
It's fairly small.
And
Joe
break
does
the
a lot
under.
of things really well. Sprint, not necessarily.
Not at all.
All right, segment.